today, Tom, that I immediately sat down this morning and took a good look at the games to put in the slate here to put on the docket, as I like to say, for our redemption picks. They just jumped off the page. You know, sometimes when you look at the lines,
Ooh.
I never know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. Because there have been times when I looked at it and went, oh, I got 25 games. I can't wait to bet all these games. And then there's times where I'm like, I don't like any of them. Not one. And I know that's not true. There's got to be some good games in there. I'm just not looking at it the right way. This time around this morning, 10 picks, just like, I had to shoo picks away. Can't get you in today, guys. Sorry, there's only 10.
A little pick triage.
Yeah. So my thing is now, I mean, I'd like to think it's a good week, but, you know, I went 7-3 last week, or 8-3, actually, if we count the extra game that I won on a Wednesday with a reschedule where I took the under. But I don't know. Now I'm a little uneasy. I'm just a little leery. I kind of think that weary, leery nervousness that I feel also applies to our game against Clemson. You know, you always ask me as the week goes on, do I have a feeling one way or the other? Did something happen? Could be rooted in fact, could be something that matters, that is a real thing, like, oh, I looked at this number, or I see a matchup that we can exploit, or that will be exploited against us, or whatever it might be, right? Other times it's sort of a general feeling. None of them have been good this week. They've all been like, yeah, I'm hoping we don't get our ass beat. That's kind of the feel I have right now. We haven't yet. Florida State doesn't get its ass kicked.
Right.
So
that would be a function of the back-to-back-to-back weeks?
Yeah, it would be the function of two things. Yes, the third game in a series of really big games against good teams, two of which we've lost already, and this is the best team of that grouping. And then B, I think I just not being healthy during a week in which Clemson gets everybody back. They get all of their defensive linemen back. Reese is back. They get the secondary is back. I mean, the guys that didn't play against Wake who got lit up are all on the bench this week. They have their corners. They have their safeties. They have their defensive line. It's the first time that's true for Clemson in 3 weeks. Of course, they come back now. I read all the Clemson stuff this morning and again last night. All that stuff. Like, yep, he's back. He's back. Like, Dabo was downright giddy about all the guys they got coming back this week. I went, damn it, man.
Bring on the rust. They're going to be rusty.
Okay, see, there it is. That's what I need. I need to find a different way to view their return. They're rusty. There it is. Latch your hopes on to rust. I don't know, man. I don't like it. Because when we do that, if we say, you know, Jakai's back and he looks like he shot out of a cannon, we don't account for rust. We just talk about how fast he looks.
That's correct. 100%. Offense is different. Offense is different. And if we get Fabian back, that's different too.
Oh, man. That's another thing. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
That would make this a no-touchy game until closer to kickoff.
Mm-hmm. Well,
if at all.
Let me tell you this. I took Clemson when the number was like 5.5. I can't believe it's gone down.
Vegas knows. Vegas had an inkling, and they got it right about the North Carolina State game last week, where it opened at 5.5 and it crept down to 2.5. Florida State still covered.
Yeah, I just took NC State to win the game.
Oh, well. Is that your no card over there, sir? I don't see why you're holding it.
I'm picking Clemson to win the game, too, this week. I'm not allowed to pick against us?
I don't think so.
I think I am, man. I don't see it.
One day you're wearing burnt orange. The next day you're picking against the Noles. What kind of show is this? What is this?
Oh, it's my appreciation of the Texas color scheme. That's what it was. I was just a big fan of the Texas color scheme. No, it is frustrating because I know how this works. I get that, you know, if you don't win it, the fan base is going to go into the bye week feeling awful. Just, you know, it will fester. We'll spend 2 weeks sniping each other online, everybody getting angry with one another. The outrageous will have the loudest voice in the room, which is kind of the case most of the time anyhow in the case of social media, but they definitely will this week if Florida State falls. picks.
Oh, all right.
You ready to get to them?
Oh, buddy.
Penn State +7 versus Michigan. I like Penn State to maybe win the game outright, brother.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
If I were released early, I'd say wrong team's favorite. This brought to you by our friends at Metro Deli. And as they say, I don't see why not. That's right. Tennessee +7.5 against Alabama. I think that atmosphere is going to be incredible. Should be a fun game to watch. And even if Bryce is back, and I think he is, I think Tennessee is really good on offense. I think they'll hang in there. I think they'll just hang around. I'm not picking them to win outright. I wouldn't be shocked. But 7.5 is juicy.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Syracuse -3.5 against NC State. The kid that they rolled out there at quarterback that came in against us, they didn't trust to throw a forward pass more than once. I think it's going to be kind of important that they do that against Syracuse, and I'm not sure I trust it.
Yeah, one of the interesting things there, I looked at the total because I thought, oh, man.
Low scoring?
Yeah, because, I mean, look at the path for NC State, and their hopes aren't technically completely dashed yet. So you might get a spirited effort from the defense. This has to be 20-17, and lo and behold, I looked at the total and it was 40. So Vegas understands that if NC State has a path to victory, it's because the race is to 20 or 21 points.
Yeah. I took Syracuse -3.5. I took Maryland -11.5 against Indiana. That Maryland team's better than I gave them credit for early in the season, and that game against Michigan really stood out to me, where they did a lot more well than I anticipated. So that's a bad Indiana team. Moreover, Indiana is beat up, got some injuries at wide receiver. So I think they're going to have a hard time scoring as well. I gave the 11.5 there. Surprised to see BYU and Arkansas as a pick 'em, as beat up as Arkansas is. I took BYU to win the game as a pick 'em.
Big silly.
I took Tulane to beat USF. I'm going to get there it comes. I tend to look at USF as a way to make money. They're not well coached.
So does Michael Kelly.
They don't play well. They had that outlier of a game against the University of Florida when Anthony Richardson was hurt, but I don't see it. I like Tulane to win the game by more than 12. Speaking of the Gators, I took them against LSU.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What's this about? LSU's relative health?
LSU's relative health, and their offense is just ass. LSU's about to fall off a cliff here. I don't see it. I like Florida to win the game. And I'll easily give the 3 there. I took Clemson against Florida State, gave the 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, listen, money where my mouth is.
Yeah, that's right. Adazio's got it right.
Yeah, he's mad at me. You guys can all be mad at me. I owe it to you, though. The old dad was in there right away when he saw Tulane versus USF. Sound the alarm. He did. Yeah. Purdue is going to hammer Nebraska.
Oh, okay. This is the inside track here. I like this.
So Nebraska's offensive line can't block you, me, and Director Matthew. Purdue, who's usually noted for being very good on offense, is actually carried by their defensive line this year. So that's a problem. That is a problem when you have a offensive line that can't block you, me, and Director Matthew going against a defensive line that is one of the better defensive lines in the Big Ten, which is saying something because the Big Ten has some good defensive lines. I'll take Purdue and I'll lay it.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
I said before the year started, Nebraska lines get some special treatment. Yeah. And that one, I like that one right there. Nice little penultimate pick.
And then finally, Southern Cal getting 3.5 against Utah. My Utes are broken. My Utah team is broken. The things that I could rely on from them in weeks and years past, I have not been able to rely on them for this year. It started with the first game of the season, and they've just steady let me down repeatedly. I'm done with them.
More like Cam falling.
Nicely played. I'm just done with them. And you know why? It's not Cam rising. It's not Cam rising or Cam falling. It's none of that. It's their defense. Where's the defense, Utah? Come on, baby. This is what you guys do. You know, I had them last year. They won me a lot of money. I told all of you to take them to win the Pac-12 last year before the season began, and we won together. If you did that, we went down that road together, and we celebrated my foresight. But this year, it ain't the same team. Too many guys. That's it. That's all. I'm taking Southern Cal plus 3.5. This will be the week Utah shows up and pastes USC.
So I don't like this either, because anybody who's ever gambled anything on a table game, sports gambling, you name it, sometimes there's sticker shock. Immediately you place your bet or your poker chip on the table.
That 3.5 seemed weird, didn't it?
And you go, that wasn't right. And it's too late. All bets are final. The pit boss, the table guys, like, all bets are final.
Yeah.
And you go, that was wrong. Should have bet it on red, not on black.
I'm going to lose this one.
I say that because I look at your slate and I like them all.
You liked all 10?
I did. That's a problem.
Oh, we got death.
I know.
We got death amongst us here in the gambling world.
That is a problem. So what do you do with that?
Or we go 9-1.
That's right.
I mean,
we celebrate on Sunday.
That's right. That's what we do. We go get that victory on a Saturday, celebrate on a Sunday, and then because we're not chasing, we throw it all away on our NFL bets.
The Sabbath cash out day. Let's go.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm fresh off a 4-team money line parlay victory last week in the NFL. I that's the betting gods going, come on back in, Jeffy. See, it's not all bad. Your instincts were correct.
Let's give him a morsel. A little morsel
Let's
here.
let him have that 4-team money line parlay.
Oh, you got us, Jeff. Oh, my God.
Can't believe it. Well, if you think about that 4-team money line parlay, it's absurd.
Even the phrase is.
Well, it's a beautiful thing. But listen to what's so weird about that. I had the Vikings over the Bears. They're up 21-3. The next time I look up, it's 22-21 Bears. I'm like, all right, first of all, that Bears team may be one of the worst collection of offensive players I've ever seen.
Yeah,
they're awful.
They played 30 minutes. The Vikings said, I watched that game, and then they said, that's enough. We're done.
They just decided not to play. So I'm like, really? The Vikings are going to lose at home to the Bears? This is what's going to happen? But then the Vikings won. They pulled it out. Great last drive. Okay, got that one. Took the Jets against Miami, which you were impressed by. I took that against my mom as well.
Yes, yeah.
I'm on the Jets. The Jets are good, by the way. They're a legit good team.
Well, and the bridge is, that helped.
Yeah, but
no bridge.
But I actually think that the Jets will probably beat Green Bay this weekend. So just as an aside,
advance notice.
Yeah, but anyhow, point would be I like that Jets team. I think they're good. They've got good young weapons. They're fun to watch, and they're coming on. They're well coached too. So I had that one, and that worked out really well. That was an ass beating. That didn't. I never had to stress that.
Not roller skates, rocking chair.
Yeah, that was a rocking chair cover right there. Just money line. All I had to do was win. It was easy. All right, got that. But then I had Kansas City over the Raiders, and the freaking Raiders get out to a 17-0 lead. That's the final leg of the money line parlay. I'm like, so the Chiefs, who can do no wrong, seemingly every week, are going to play this game and look this bad. But then they roared back and held on for dear life. Thank God 2 receivers ran into each other looking like buffoons. It was a beautiful thing. So I had that, got it, covered it. And then my other one was, what was it?
It was a winner. That's what it was.
It was a winner. Oh, it was Philadelphia who tried to screw me as well. Because that's a terrible Arizona team. There's no excuse for Philadelphia half-stepping with that game. Like, what are we doing going to overtime? Thank God that backup kicker is terrible.
Was that the 4:00 window?
That was, it was a late game.
That's why I don't remember that game. That was old nappy time.
That was a late game, and it was a great game. It turned into a great game. Didn't need to be that way. I need Philadelphia. I texted him. I was like, it was his fault. I was like, get your team going here. What
How about the 4:00 headliner this week?
Buffalo, Kansas City?
Yes.
Forget about it. This was the game a year ago that we talked about and how excited we were. Remember that? We were like, oh, you can't ask for anything better than this. And it lived up to it.
Oh, yeah.
And then some.
One of the great playoff games
One
in
of the
history.
greatest games ever. It was like, we knew it. We were saying in the moment, this has all the makings of an all-time great game. And then that happened, that incredibleness. Well, here you go again. I mean, this has the makings of a fantastic game, which means we're going to be sitting there going, how is this 3-0 in the third quarter? Now, I mean, I doubt that, but I'm just saying, it's usually when you really think you know something, that happens. I don't know, to bring it on home, the status of Fabian Levitt. And he is somebody that I think if Florida State's to win this game, he's going to have to play. Because we've been beat up behind him. The players, the caliber of players behind him are not him.
Yeah.
And they've been playing hurt and getting more hurt as the season goes on, or banged up is a better way of saying it. And if you don't have Fabian back, you need him back almost just for depth reasons beyond the fact that he's really talented.
Right, even if it's a pitch count.
Yes,
even if give me 20 reps.
30 snaps or something like that, yeah.
All on first down, and then you can move to second down if you need it. Don't need you out there on third unless it's third and short. How about 4th and goal from the 1? Could use you there.
Oh, well, let's not let him get to the 1, Tom. I mean, nobody needs that. We don't need all that.
Well, we've done a good job on 3 downs if it's 4th and goal from the 1.
Yeah, I don't see I've tried to. You and I talked yesterday. We played golf yesterday. Had a great time. You were great. By the way, everybody, Tom Wayne shot the 70s yesterday.
Hey,
throwing your business out on Front Street right there, buddy.
Right.
But it's for good reason. You played great. We played till it was pitch dark out. Everybody, it was good times. But anyhow, the point would be,
had to take a lost ball because of darkness
on 18.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Well, I would love to know where that ball is. Because when we came, I think I know, but we could not. It was dark. It was pitch black. We couldn't see.
I probably had 100 in off of a tree, but it was the tree is in the way. The tree is like it's in the path.
You'd have been
to the green. It's up and down for par all day, baby.
You would. Well, the way you were playing yesterday, for sure.
Instead, it's a double, little dubski,
and you still shot in the 70s with a double.
Yeah.
So what I'm telling you, we were both balling. We were doing some good things. Anyhow,
to the younger gentlemen who are in front of us, move.
Yeah, man.
Go faster.
You got to play faster than that, guys.
Fools.
The deal is this. If you're not any good, that's fine. Like, I'm not trying to judge you here. I'm not a great golfer. I shot in the 80s yesterday, though. Felt pretty good about that.
Yeah. Front Street again. There's a lot of good things going on Front Street.
A lot of good things happening out here. I know this. We're sitting there, and those guys couldn't play, and there were 3 of them, and there were 2 of us. And, come on, man. Here's the deal. You got to.
Guy thought he could get home on a par 5 from 350. He was waiting for the green to clear from 350.
But I think he was hitting an iron. Like, man, you're not going to get it there, buddy. You're not going to get it there.
All right, let's set an over-under for Florida State to tie it back home. What's the higher total? More practice swings for that shot from that guy. Or Jordan Travis incompletions. Or Jordan Travis incompletions on Saturday.
Oh, jeez. That guy had a lot of practice.
It was in the teens.
It was definitely in the teens.
In the teens.
Yeah, he had to have been exhausted by the time he hit it.
So Jordan Travis will have, 13.5. Over under Jordan Travis incompletions at 13.5. Taking the over, taking the under.
Well, I'm trying to think of the game plan here. There are going to be a lot of, in my estimation, there'll be a lot of short passes. So those should be completions. So I'll say under 13.
And that means that you're going to get into the 30s of pass attempts, right?
Yeah.
Easily?
Yeah. So I think he goes like 20 of 30.
Okay. Is 23
of 34?
Is 23 of 34 good enough to win the football game? Do you think? I don't. I think that's got to be more like 26 of 34, 27 to 34.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I think that he will complete a high percentage of passes. I'm most assuredly going with the under on this because in my mind, they're going to throw the quick game all night long.
I mean,
that's kind of what you have to do.
That's what the tape suggests you do, especially if you're going to get Breesy back. And
and Johnny Wilson can really block, and I need him to here. And all those guys care to block, which is very important.
And they better.
Actually, this is a good talking point. This is the path to victory for Florida State, which I'm not picking them to win because I think there's too much to overcome here. But let's talk about that because I do think there is a path to victory. We'll do that next. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Football at El Jalisco, football at El Jalisco, what a combination. It's a great big celebration. It's football at El Jalisco. I can dig it. Who's playing? Oh, man, everybody. The ACC, the SEC, all the C's, and even the pros. The Bucks, the Steelers, the Giants, the Cowboys. Wow, far out. You bet, man. When the game is on, it's on at El Jalisco with incredible specials on everything from frosty cervezas to salty margaritas. Does Margarita know? Dios mío, not again. The best place to watch the game is El Jalisco. College, pros, Monday night, Thursday night, you name it, El Jalisco is football headquarters. And with 5 Tallahassee area locations, there's probably an El Jalisco right around the corner right now.
It's time for the Sunblessed Gardens Open House, featuring 10 acres of greenhouses to explore, plus local food trucks, craft vendors, and fun activities for the kids like our exciting plant-themed scavenger hunt with prizes. It's all happening Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Sunblessed Gardens in Crawfordville, only open to the public a few times a year. Come explore an endless sea of plants to view and purchase at amazing prices and fun for the whole family. It's the Sunblessed Gardens Spring Open House happening this weekend in Crawfordville. We'll see you there.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future. Imagine for a moment that you are completely weightless with zero gravity. All of your worries and stress melt away. Your mind stops racing and you fall into a profound state of pure relaxation. This is available to you right now at Tallulah Delta 8 Plus Floating in Railroad Square for just $50. These state-of-the-art floating pods are unlike anything else you've ever experienced, and while you're there, you can shop for some of the latest and greatest CBD and Delta 8 products on the market. Natural pain management, stress relief, and better sleep are all at your fingertips at Tallulah. Tell them Jeff Cameron sent you, and thank me later.
Hi, everybody. It's Ed Dean, Florida's #1 statewide radio talk show, now in Tallahassee afternoon drive from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on Real Talk 93.3 FM. Yes, highly entertaining, fast-paced, never boring. We always give you the story behind the story when you catch the Ed Dean radio show. And we are ready to go. Tallahassee daily, 5 to 6 p.m. It's the Ed Dean radio show on Real Talk 93.3 FM. WVFT.
Whitten Glass has been taking care of families since 1945.
Experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Whitten's top-of-the-line bath enclosures. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Whitten Glass, and they provide precise installation.
Whitten Glass, Tallahassee's first family in glass. Online at whittenglass.com. Call 850-222-5781.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Three and a half. I feel like it should be a greater number for the reasons that I gave at the outset, which is that we don't know. We're not so certain just yet who's in and who's out for Florida State from a health standpoint. And we do know Clemson got all of their missing players back, unfortunately, just in the nick of time for this game. 2 of those on the defensive line. One of those is a absolute beast and first-round pick. They also got 2 starting safeties back and a starting cornerback. It's a little frustrating. Would have been nice if they could have been out like they were against Wake Forest for us, but hey, that's the way it works. Hopefully, we too are talking about all the guys we got back. But I think it's to spread them out and maybe do the unthinkable. Kind of forego the run and throw the ball.
I think you have to throw to run no matter what you want to do overall. You're saying you might not even bother. It might be the ultimate counterpunch to run.
Well, you got to do some things to keep them honest, and you're going to sprinkle it in there, things like that, draws and stuff like that in there, and sort of misdirection stuff. Yeah, you're going to do it. It's the basis for this offense. We know that they're a run first offense.
Yeah,
but I'm conceding here something they probably won't be willing to concede. And I don't know if I were a coach, I'd be willing to concede it either, because my mindset would be very different on the field every day. But I'm kind of conceding we can't block them.
Here's an interesting question, at least to me. Personnel groupings, when they go empty, do you have to have a tight end on the field in that circumstance? Have we run 5 wide in an empty before this year? I don't know that we have. And I'm not saying that I love
without
the fourth
without a tight end.
Yeah, I mean, I know what they're trying to do. Pre-snap, you're trying to get them to put more linebackers on the field
You
or
want
whatever.
to declare, yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine. But I'm going back in my mind to a couple of these plays, one of the third down drops, and then the final interception. I mean, I think Mark Easton's going to be a good player, and he's going to develop over the next couple of years. But does he have to be on the field then? Do you have to have a tight end out there?
No.
Or could it be, Micah and Johnny and Pokey and Deuce and Malik? Could you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Johnny and Malik are good at blocking.
They're going to have to block their ass off this week, because I think we're running a ton of quick game.
But we ran empty a lot against NC State.
We sure did.
We also ran outside zone a lot.
Yes.
And I don't know if that was a matter of they were worried that they couldn't handle the 3-3-5 in terms of the assignments based upon the film they saw against Wake Forest. That's my guess, because of what Alex Atkins said 2 Mondays ago about confusion and being timid. But I thought that was interesting, too. They didn't really run the bread and butter running play a lot, especially in that second half. So if you're going to go empty, could you do at least 4 receivers on the field? I get Toafili can catch the ball, and he made a couple of great catches in this game again.
He's
really
reliable.
Yeah,
he is.
But I wonder for this game if you're better off putting more receivers on the field and, having to have a tight end out there, because we don't feel great about any of them. I mean, that Cam McDonald is not out there down the stretch. I don't think he came up lame at any point, did he?
Not that I saw, no.
That's a hell of a thing.
Yeah. Well, he too likes to drop passes and is not a good blocker. So there's all of that. I mean, I have the time.
Agreed. But I mean, think about that. If you're 87 and in these key moments, there's a third down drop, and then there's also one of the options. It's a quick out on the interception over the top. It's 85 and not 87. What the hell? What gives?
Yeah, it is kind of strange. I don't know if but remember, he came into the season banged up. So,
correct. It's possible.
It's entirely possible. Yeah, I'm not ruling it out. I don't know. So again, that path, getting back to this, that path to victory is the quick game. I think getting the ball out of Jordan's hands, right here, right now, and then hoping to, maybe you spring him with a great block. We do have some guys that can really go. Yeah. So maybe somebody makes a house call after a missed tackle and a good block, and the next thing you know, you gotta hope. I think early, some good things happen for you. Clemson's got to throw it to us. Somebody's got to put it on the ground, something like that. Maybe you get a big special teams play, whatever it might be. And now all of a sudden you're going into halftime, and we got us a game. We got a game. And at that point, the team that's supposed to win, that has more on the line, that has more to lose, you can see a tightening factor. It could happen at that point. Clemson is trying to make the college football playoff. They're kind of the team that doesn't go mentioned week to week all that often these days when it comes to the college football playoff. We tend to mention Alabama. We certainly mention Georgia and Ohio State. Clemson used to be thrown in there all the time with that group, but they had that season that they had a year ago where they were pedestrian. They just still won 10 games, but they were pedestrian. And then I think that carried over reputationally to this season with DJ. But they've got a very good defense, especially now that they're healthy, and he's having a good year. So they're not as dynamic a wide receiver as they once were. So maybe that's why they're getting kind of overlooked in that regard. But my point would be...
But he's put it on them.
Yes, he has.
Quite a lot.
And my point would be they think they're a playoff team. They have more to lose here. Florida State is trying to avoid losing 3 straight games, which is a lot to avoid, but it's not the same as seeing your college football playoff dashed. So maybe you get this thing into the second half at home at night. This place can be amazing. We have been in there and heard this place rock, and we've watched some teams and players wilt under that. We've seen it. Miami. for long stretches last year, came in here and looked absolutely bewildered and befuddled, some of which I think was sort of things are going bad and they go from bad to worse early in that game, and the fans get into it. Now, they righted the ship and rallied back to take the lead, and then obviously Florida State did what we did on the final drive, which was great. But that's what you have to hope for. Can you get it to that point? Can you get them off their moorings? Can you find a way to where all of a sudden it's the mid-third quarter, they're looking up and we're tied, and this thing is not going as expected. There's a lot to lose. We're buoyed. The fans carry you over the finish line. It sounds strange to say, but it happens in college football. Doesn't really happen all that much in the NFL. Those are pros. They just clock into work and come and go, and we've seen a home field advantage kind of numbers in the NFL. They go the way of the dodo. They don't really matter much, but in college they do.
A couple of things. Number one, I'd say if you are covering this from a Clemson perspective, you're saying that here's your opportunity to show if you're a sleeping giant or if you're just good enough to skate by. Like, what is Clemson? Because their schedule hasn't been all that daunting when you look at what NC State actually is this season. The game that they've played is the Wake Forest game. That's the one. Other than that, they've played either teams that I think are paper tigers, and I think NC State is, and that's besmirching us that we didn't finish the job against that group. And then they're playing, the Georgia Techs and Furmans of the world. So if I'm covering it as a Clemson radio person or whatever, I'm saying, are you actually going to be a team that we think, oh, you can win the whole thing? Or are you a team that's going to be a participant in the playoff and you got to get lucky? This weekend can help us find out, if we're Clemson people, what exactly you are. Because if you can go into that atmosphere in Tallahassee against a much improved Florida State team that's dangerous on offense, and you can hold them down and win that by multiple scores, you've done something now. That's legitimate. You add that to the Wake Forest win, and you've got yourself a resume, a real one. The thing from a Florida State perspective is, and in watching DJ a lot, the only way that he throws it to you is if you pressure him and also you confuse him. And that would mean we would need to do something we haven't shown the ability to do yet, which is mix up those coverages. I remember the 2015 game up there, and it was against Deshaun Watson, and we took the early lead. Remember, Dalvin almost got hawked from behind because he thought there was nobody behind him.
Right.
That was a Sean McGuire game.
Yeah.
And
we hung in there. That was we could have won that game.
That game plan, I think, was Charles Kelly's best of his career here. Because Boyd, I always do that with Clemson. I just love him from 2013, I guess. But Watson was totally confused. He had no idea what he was looking at.
The half where he screwed up the down in time situation.
He has no idea what he's looking at. A masterful job of confusing him. Do we have that capability at all to say, holy cow, you fooled him? Because if you can bait him into thinking you're doing one thing, he is predetermined that is a fact. He's not going to read it out after the snap and say, oh, that's not what's happening. I need to go here with the ball. He'll just cut it loose, and it'll look like a terrible pick. He's only got 2 of them this year, but the one against Boston College last week is he sees it's man. It's not. They disguised it.
He had a pick 6 he should have had against NC State. The kid dropped
it's the same thing. It's the same thing where he predetermines, oh, you're playing off coverage. I've got a hitch I can throw to all day. And the corner's just sitting on it. All he has to do is catch the ball. It's very much a Greedy Vance moment. If he does, he's probably going to score. So can you do that? Because we haven't shown that. If that's in us and we show it this weekend, then Adam Fuller, who I think has had a nice year, objectively, he's had a nice year.
Had a decent year, yes.
That'll go to another place and you say, okay, well, now wait a minute. We might have somebody here.
That's a real big step to take in this moment.
Sure.
I mean, we have not shown it in any game yet to be able to do that. And now you're going to go to it here against that team. I'd be surprised. Maybe you do it because some things are born out of desperation.
And if you do it and fail and you look like clowns, I'm actually not going to be mad if you try it once, because that's how you get him to throw you the ball. If you just say line up in man and you play, you're going to have to play press. But let's say you don't and you play off, he'll just throw all day and it'll be an easy 6. You're not going to fool him at that level. You're going to have to do something exotic here to get him to rat trap.
There's no evidence, both from the standpoint of what Florida State will run and has run, or from the standpoint of what DJ's done this year on the field, that suggests there's going to be this come to Jesus moment in which he is absolutely befuddled by Florida State's new defensive formations.
Correct.
There's no evidence that that's going to happen.
What's more likely to happen is that he's going to throw 50-50 balls, which he will, and you win a couple of those. He hasn't lost one yet. They haven't
Yeah.
There hasn't been a game where you go, that's the second pick on a 50-50 shot down the field, because he's really good at those throws. But we might have maybe a chance to go make a play on it as one of our safeties, or maybe Renardo
It'd be
goes up
nice.
and makes a
It'd
play.
be nice to see it happen, man. It would be nice to see it happen, but I just have not seen the evidence for it up to now. But lots of strange things happen over the course of a long college football season. Plenty of upsets do occur. Players do play over their heads occasionally. Guys play below what the numbers on the back of the baseball card say sometimes. It happens. So, and I saw somebody earlier mention that I didn't like our chances to win last week, and I cited specifically Fabian Lovett being out as being a problem. Yeah, I think it was in the second half as they ran the football more effectively. NC State did, and it did have an effect on the game, but it wasn't the reason we lost, and I also gave us a chance to win that game. I give us less of a chance to win this game. And again, I'll cite if Fabian's not playing, and I don't know that to be the case. I don't know. I have not been at practice this week, guys, so I can't tell you, I'm not telling on myself or anything. I haven't seen it. So the feeling I get is that he's limited if he plays.
Also, I'd say that even if you were at practice this week, you don't know. There's just no way of knowing. Jared Verse, that was a bit of a surprise that he was on a pitch count against Wake Forest. Maurice Smith, nobody thought he was going to play, and then boom, he was available for LSU, media included. Like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Maurice is going to play?
Right. Things happen. Right.
So
yeah,
even,
it's hard to know.
You know, a lot could happen between Thursday when we're not allowed out there and kickoff on Saturday. And so my suspicion is if he's going to play, it's because something happens today or tomorrow at walkthrough that they go, all right, full steam ahead.
And by the way, when I don't go to practice, I still talk to people who do. So it's not like I'm not informed on this, but I am saying that if he plays and plays a lot, like the way I think he needs to play for us to have a chance to win the game, I would be surprised. That's just me. Now, let's hope like hell that he can give it a go, because you gave a good example of a time where we didn't think somebody was going to play, and not only did the person play, they played well. So
he hasn't come out since.
And he's played well.
Yeah,
So okay.
He's had a good season.
Yeah.
You sound less enthused than I did.
He has had a good season. No, I didn't mean it that way.
Okay,
I'm just thinking about this whole segment was predicated on finding a path to victory, and I'm having to have Clemson do a bunch of things wrong.
They got a better kicker too. BT Potter's a good kicker. No, but that's the hidden play in the Wake game is the 50-whatever yarder at 38-35.
He's a really good kicker. He's great. Yeah, Wake's kicker was great. NC State's kicker was really good,
Of course
too.
he was.
They're all effing good except for ours. It's just hard to find it, but I've been in Doak a million times. I've seen the magic of a Saturday night in Doak Campbell Stadium. I know that's real. It's true of any great program and tradition. When you go to those stadiums, you feel it. It's that's the so-called 12th man that people talk about with Seattle and Texas A&M stole it and all that. But I mean, or vice versa, but whatever. The point would be that exists at all great programs that have cachet and big stadiums and rabid fan bases. It exists. And you walk in, you're like, ooh, it's on tonight, and you feel that. So, get some things going right for you early. Upsets happen. We've provided some of them. I mean, I think back to that North Carolina game here a couple of years back, and we get the Kendo interception. He walks into the end zone on just a dreadful decision. Yeah. And, we had to hold on for dear life, and luckily there was a bunch of drops and all that stuff. But that's the recipe, right? Is that you get out to a lead, they feel a little bit overwhelmed, rat trap a little bit themselves, kind of scrambling. Players play above their heads. They feed off the energy. They begin to believe. And the next thing you know, it's the fourth quarter and you're up 7. You're like, come on, baby, we can do this.
One of the most ridiculous game plans ever. Everybody's running all over us. We're going to throw it with Michael Carter and Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Feel free to keep firing.
See how that works.
Well, they should have won, though.
Even still,
I
but
know.
I mean,
I know.
They should be up by 20 at halftime. Thanks, Mac.
Yeah, man. So it's just, I don't like having to rely on.
I think you feel worse now. You try to give yourself a path, and you're like, nope. Well,
it just was a very limited path. I like options. This is what I tell my kids about.
It's like
grades.
doing a cave tour, and you have to.
I want options.
The claustrophobia of going through the caves.
I tell my kids about school that you have to do a lot of the busy work. a lot of things that you think are busy work that's just nonsense. You're right. You're not wrong. But you have to do it. That's the way it works. We all did. And one of the reasons you have to do it is you do the things that you have to do so you can do the things that you want to do. That's how life works, right? And so that is in part by getting good grades and doing busy work, giving you options. And we all want options. You don't want to be told there's a singular way you have to do this thing. You would like 50 choices. I want choices. Well, when we sit here and try to navigate the path to victory, I don't see a lot of choices. I see a lot of please, maybe, will you?
Yeah, but it's not as hopeless as this matchup was last year. Or do you feel that you
Well,
feel it's akin to last year?
Remember
That's
last
interesting.
year, though, last year they were bad on offense. Clemson was bad on offense last year.
I understand.
And we had Jermaine Johnson.
Okay. So you feel that the margin.
No, we're a better team than we were last year. It's just from a matchup standpoint, the timing of this game. The kid at quarterback played awful last year for them. He's playing really well this year. DJ's been good this year, period. That's full stop. We don't have to, I keep people, no, he's played well, period. So, yeah, man, it is harder for me to see it. Now, if we're healthy, it changes everything. Personnel matters. Look, we keep, you can't, people will say, well, that's an excuse. Everybody's hurt right now. Get the hell out of here with that nonsense. Use reason. If you've got 5 players that are starters and they're out, that's a problem. That's a reason that you could lose a game. It's not an excuse. It's a reason. Let's see who plays. And those that do, are they healthy? If the answer is yes, okay, all right. You could have a game here.
At least Jared Verse is going to be a part of it.
Yeah, and he's got to wreak havoc. He has got to wreak havoc. And he could. He's
and Patrick Payton now.
Yeah. Now, listen, Payton's coming into his own now. He still needs to add some weight, but he's a nice player. And obviously, you watch what's going on here with Jared Verse and his relative health, but he got dinged again last week. And so
he did. He was scared. He thought,
well, that scared the hell out of him. Yeah, he got bent back. But here's the thing. That is also probably the way what I would do if I were Clemson. He got scared because he got chipped. He was engaged and he got chipped. Well, that's what you do to a guy who's wreaking havoc on you. I'm sure they will. I mean, that is because I think he could win that matchup. Absolutely.
Oh,
and he's a very good player.
Their line is better, but I don't know how much better.
Yeah, it's better. Last year's line was not good. That's another reason I felt better.
I don't think they're world beaters, though.
No, they're not a dominant offensive line, but they're not bad. They were bad last year. We first guessed that before the season. I was talking about their offensive line having problems all year long. And
I remember smiling about it.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So I'm giving you this offensive line right up last year, and then we didn't know Jermaine Johnson was going to be a first-round pick. Those are all avenues by which that game was close.
I think Jared Verse, a fully healthy version of Jared Verse, is close to making that kind of announcement that he's on the level with Jermaine Johnson. I don't think that's just Todd McShay or Mel Kiper saying that for, uneducated reasons, which they do a lot. They do a lot.
Yeah, but he's a different kind of player, though.
He is, but, I mean, think back to the LSU game. He's everywhere. He's everything. And I get that offensive line is probably worse than Clemson's offensive line, and they were more healthy that night than they are at present at LSU.
Mm-hmm.
But what Jared did in limited reps against Wake caught my eye. That's a veteran front. Those dudes have been playing together since 1974. And he's throwing guys back 5 and 6 yards. The first plays out there without being at full strength.
Yeah.
There's something in the works there now.
He's a player now. Don't get me wrong. I got you there. I think that's the path. He's got to have a game. He's got to have one of those games where we end up talking about it. The way we talk about Jermaine Johnson against Miami, or the way like the games where that dude is taking this game over. They can't stop him.
And that's the weakness for DJ that has not happened a lot because of the strength of that schedule. His numbers against pressure plummet.
Yeah.
Plummet.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been under pressure a whole lot this season. And if you could get the pressure without the extra bodies committed to a rush, that's basic football.
There's another aspect to this game. It's on the other side of the ball where we started with the conversation, and it had to do with Jordan Travis. I'll expound upon that as well. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
An 18-year-old man has been arrested in connection to the 2021 shooting death of a Cairo man. Christopher Tyreek James was arrested in connection to the death of Derek Herring. Herring was found shot to death in the 800 block of 8th Street Northwest in May of 2021. Anyone with information is asked to call the GBI Thomasville office at 229-225-4090 or the anonymous tip line at 1-800-597-8477. Special guests are now joining students for lunch at Leon County Schools. The Tallahassee Fire Department has teamed up with the district for a new program program called Lunch Buddies. It allows firefighters to act as mentors to middle school students. Students are taking advantage of their time with the firefighters, whether that's chatting about the school year, sports, or for some, their goal of becoming a firefighter one day. The firefighters will be in Leon County Middle Schools bi-weekly for the remainder of the school year. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Now open at their new location on John Knox Road. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Partly cloudy skies this afternoon with highs around 84. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows level off around 59 tonight. Clear skies. Sunny skies again tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 81. Mid-80s Saturday and Sunday. Once again, 84 this afternoon. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 83.
Your next chance to win $1,000 is coming up at 3 p.m. Don't miss your chance to shake the 93.3 money tree and see what falls out. Planted by the law offices of Basic Brooks. Come back stronger with Basic Brooks.
Choose Hearth & Patio for custom fireplaces, maintenance, outdoor grills, kitchens, fire pits, lighting, and so much more. Check out all of Hearth & Patio's options online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Hearth & Patio, they keep the home fires burning.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true. But I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Hey, Greg Tish here along with
Matty Rowe.
And you can listen to us Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Real Talk 93.3. Matt, we give away a couple things each week.
Just a few.
We got the Florida Farm Bureau Insurance Wheel of Food. We have Give Me a Second, where we play a second of a song and you guess that song. And we also play FLA or Nay. We have a lot of fun Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on
The Greg Tish Show.
Think that's enough?
We could talk about our feelings.
There's a lot.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Chairman Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
I was gathering myself to talk about the game I need Jordan Travis to have. He's got to be great. He's got to be great this
Nothing
weekend.
short of it.
Yeah, he's got to be great this weekend. But, we yelled about it last week. We said, my man, utilize that gift. You've got ability to really run. You do. I mean, there are mobile quarterbacks, and then there's you. And that's a special talent that very few have to that extent at that position. When you get into games like this where it's tough sledding, your offensive line is at a disadvantage against their defensive line, period. You've got to make them, force them to play honest, and you can do that by changing the math and running with your quarterback. And I would have a whole bunch of design quarterback runs for Jordan Travis. I would also, when you're having the conversation, an install and film review, and you're talking about where our mind needs to be for this game. What are the points of emphasis? What are the areas that we're attacking? This is a conversation about, yeah, man, you can take off. I'm not going to second guess you. Now, don't get happy feet. I mean, let a play develop, and if you got time, step up and make the throw, of course. But you're going to have considerably less time this go around, Jordan, and understand that the clock has to be sped up.
Right. 2nd and 6 is not bad if you've got to run for 4 and slide.
That's correct.
Yeah, no problem.
It's a win.
Yeah.
when we did the watch along, how many times did I say there's another loss on first down for Florida State?
Yeah.
I mean, it felt like I was a broken record all night long.
Well,
Second and 10,
that's
second
the
and 11,
thing.
second and 9.
And it didn't matter what the pre-snap read was if you're counting, because they had late pressures. And I saw the stat yesterday from an analyst group. I think it's CFB Film Room. 81% of the plays, Florida State's running backs were contacted at or behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
81% of our running plays.
That'll hurt your feelings.
So it doesn't matter if they got 6.
Yeah.
Stop it. But that's also the argument against the empties. When I'm talking about going empty, is if you want Jordan to be able to run on design runs, you got to have a running back there for a read option as your base. It's got to be part of the base.
As a design run, that is true. But I'm telling him to be uber aggressive on the decision making.
Sure.
To run.
Flush.
So yes, you are free.
Look like last year's version of yourself in that sense. You know,
Yeah, go, baby.
I know you could get through progressions.
Right.
Today's not that day.
No, you've told everybody. You've shown it. You've put it on film. It's on film. We've seen it. You can do it. There were questions coming into this year about that. And I get that you have to do that. You have to, especially if you have desires, aspirations to play in the NFL, you do have to show it.
Yeah, but if you have those aspirations, it's not solely because you're too small. They don't want you as a pocket passer. They need you as a combo threat. They need you as Jalen Hurts.
Yes, they needed to see that you were capable of going through your progressions. You've shown it in spades. I don't need to see it anymore. Go. In this game, go. Sit in the pocket and read the defense and take your time against Georgia Tech. Not here. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with.
Tallahassee, it's Sarah with Seminole Auto Glass. You're probably driving right now, which means you're surrounded by glass. Did you know that each piece is made differently? Your windshield is 2 sheets of glass with a thin plastic in between. This allows it to take an impact without going all the way through. Side and back glasses are typically tempered. This strengthening process is what allows them to be shattered in the event of an emergency. Regardless of the glass or how it breaks, we can help. Trust your local auto glass experts. Seminole Auto Glass, proudly serving the Big Bend for over 15 years. Better call Seminole.
Thank you for calling the Medicare Help Desk. How can we help you?
Can you help me choose the right coverage for myself and my wife?
We sure can. We can help you choose from Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage, or standalone prescription drug plans from over 30 different insurance carriers.
How much does it cost? We have a fixed income and can't afford extra expenses.
At the Medicare Help Desk, the consultation is completely free. We are here to help.
Thank you, Medicare Help Desk.
Hi, this is Justin Colvin, founder of the Medicare Help Desk. In my 17 years of experience, I routinely speak to seniors who are overwhelmed by the multitude of coverage options available to them. That's why I created the Medicare Help Desk, a place for you to get clear answers to all your questions and make sense of all the confusion. I've helped thousands of clients, and I live right here in Tallahassee with my family. I am active in my church and wish to help and serve my community. If you need help navigating the Medicare landscape, I'm easy to find. Just visit the MedicareHelpDesk.com. That's the MedicareHelpDesk.com.
Football at El Jalisco, football at El Jalisco, what a combination. It's a great big celebration. It's football at El Jalisco. I can dig it. Who's playing? Oh, man, everybody. The ACC, the SEC, all the C's, and even the pros. The Bucks, the Steelers, the Giants, the Cowboys. Wow, far out. You bet, man. When the game is on, it's on at El Jalisco with incredible specials on everything from frosty cervezas to salty margaritas.
Does Margarita know?
Dios mío, not again. The best place to watch the game is El Jalisco. College, pros, Monday night, Thursday night, you name it, El Jalisco is football headquarters. And with 5 Tallahassee area locations, there's probably an El Jalisco right around the corner right now.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee.
breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Correspondent Fatima Hussein reports that the 8.7% boost in Social Security benefits next year is historic, fueled by record inflation.
In the 1980s, there was a record high inflation, and at that time, the cost of living increase rose more than 11%. Today, we're seeing not only this inflation, but also the impacts of a war in Ukraine, as well as an ongoing pandemic.
And more good news, there will be a 3% drop in Medicare Part B premiums. The increased payments begin in January. Inflation in the U.S. did indeed accelerate in September.
The government says consumer prices rose 8.2% in September compared with a year earlier. The cost of housing and other necessities are intensifying pressure on households, wiping out pay gains that many have received. The high inflation rate also ensures that the Federal Reserve will keep raising interest rates aggressively.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Also at townhall.com, the UN General Assembly voting to condemn Russia's annexation of Ukrainian territory, but in Moscow. BBC's Steve Rosenberg says there's no sign of Vladimir Putin changing course.
President Putin hasn't admitted mistakes or miscalculations. Instead, in recent weeks, he's been focused on escalating the conflict. There is no end in sight to this war. But later today, President Putin will meet President Erdogan of Turkey on the sidelines of a regional summit in Kazakhstan. A Kremlin aide suggested that at this meeting, the Turkish leader may raise ideas for peace talks on Ukraine. But there is no guarantee they will happen.
Stocks have been trading sharply higher. The Dow is up 794 points. The NASDAQ 211 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Losing your family's home movies and photos would be devastating. That's why Legacy Box exists, to preserve your family's recorded moments digitally, ensuring they're safe forever. Think of the time and money your family invested to capture family vacations, birthdays, even your wedding. Recording a lifetime of memories was a commitment. Camcorders cost thousands, and cameras required film and development. Legacy Box is the final step to preserve your family's past. Thankfully, it doesn't require another big investment. Legacy Box is safe, simple, and affordable. Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box to convert their analog media to digital. You owe it to your family to safeguard your memories. Become your family's hero and save them before it's too late. For a limited time, Legacy Box is offering an exclusive discount when you go to legacybox.com/LBOX. That's legacybox.com/LBOX.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com for better style, quality, and design. Go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
jumping on board. If you missed the picks, real quick rundown of them right here as we get started with the second hour. Penn State +7 against Michigan, thanks to our friends at Metro Deli. That's not why Penn State's getting 7, Metro Deli, but they do sponsor the segment, and I'm happy about that. Metro Deli's good. If you haven't been there to eat, you really are missing out. It's delicious. They don't pay me to say that.
Yeah.
It's
good breakfast, good lunch. It's a little.
I haven't had breakfast there in a long, long time.
Sneaky breakfast, sneaky good.
Breakfast is damn awesome.
Mhm.
Period. I mean, just breakfast in general is a very, very good.
Your boy might get some breakfast at a different time.
Yeah.
After one of the practices during the week.
Oh,
That's where it's a nice
can
little
roll over there.
it's
Yeah,
a nice little right triangle I draw from
Uh-huh.
campus to here, and that point is Metro Deli.
Sit down, do a little work.
Yeah, I go in the corner,
So
giving off the vibe of, look, man, I got to work.
I got to work, and I'm eating
Headsets on.
breakfast.
Yeah, that's right. Delicious
Mess
breakfast.
with a man while he's eating his breakfast? No, you don't. I've said it before on the air, at least once in the 23, 24 years I've been on, that I used to get so excited as a kid. I'd ride my Mongoose BMX bike home, and I'd be racing down the pink streets in St. Petersburg, racing Pinellas Point Drive. And I'd get down that street, I'd turn, then I'd hit Serpentine. I'd turn left there, then I'd come around Manor Way. I'd take a ride off of Manor Way, and then I would pull into the driveway, and my mom would say, "Good, you're just back in time. We decided to do breakfast for dinner tonight."
Mhm.
Woo! I would be so pumped.
It's not a popular opinion in my home, but Thanksgiving we do a big brunch spread before we have the dinner around 5 or 5:30. I know some homes do,
Mhm.
Thanksgiving around 2 or before
Yeah.
the NFL games, whatever. But we do a traditional dinner. I'm more of a fan of the brunch. I mean, the food's fine for Thanksgiving, but I'm more of a fan of the brunch because it's all breakfast meats and it's got bagels and it's got fruit baskets and stuff like that. It's delightful. I love that meal. It's my favorite one of the year.
I didn't used to be a fan of the places, like if you ever went to somebody's house for Thanksgiving, say somebody else in the family, like if you didn't host, I was never a fan of the early dinner until I got older. Now I want to have the early dinner for a lot of reasons, but one of which is you can get everybody the hell out of your house. And that's a big thing. I want everybody, let's go so we can get back, right? That's the famous, that's how I am with Thanksgiving. That's let's eat like at 9 a.m. so these people can get the hell out of my house. That's how I am. And that's not very loving of me. It's just being honest. I want you to go home.
It's going to be a tough one this year with, the game the next day.
Yeah.
That's a toughie.
Yeah. Well,
I'm on the road from Tampa at 5 or 6 in the morning.
I'm not having anybody over.
You have an excuse. It's a built-in excuse.
Yeah. I didn't need much of one.
But you got a good one. That's a good one.
But I don't need much of one.
I think we play England at 11 in the morning on Friday, so I'm not going to be late to that.
No.
So I said, listen, Jamie, we're not there. There is no cocktail hour after dinner. We're going right to bed. We're having dinner.
We're telling your wife when she has to go to bed.
No,
That's
because we
hilarious.
have to go to the hotel away from the house. We got to leave. We got to
yeah.
leave the house. We cannot be, dilly-dallying till 9, 10 o'clock. We got to get up around 4:35 and let's go. It's a big day. Got to be at Hotel Indigo by, I think, 4 o'clock that day.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's a big day.
That is a huge day.
It's a huge day.
And then we get rivalry Saturday.
Mhm.
I'd prefer that we play on the Saturday, but if
we're
we
not,
don't,
and this is the benefit. This is the ancillary benefit of not playing.
it's going to be a big party that Saturday.
That's right. Penn State +7 against Michigan. I think Penn State may win the game outright. That's right, Harbaugh. Poser. Tennessee +7.5 against Alabama. Tennessee may win outright. Wouldn't be shocking. Would not be shocking.
Wow.
They've been good. They've been really good at quarterback. Holy moly.
You've guaranteed they're going to get blown out because you're picking them in a high leverage spot and you don't like Tennessee.
I have no ill will against Tennessee. It is that is not true. I have made fun of Tennessee. I make fun of lots of things that I don't hate. But I have made fun of Tennessee for years because they've been easily made fun of. But it doesn't mean I hate them. There are things I hate. I'll tell you about things I hate, but I don't hate Tennessee. I'm just sort of sometimes they had to get chopped down a little bit. That's all.
When was the last year, we do this every season, the last year that Tennessee beat Alabama head to head?
I can never remember this. I remember when that fat-ass defensive tackle was at Alabama, and didn't they block a field goal?
Mount Cody.
Yeah, Mount Cody. That's fat-ass. Yeah. I don't know. When was the last? 2007.
Very close.
Was I close?
But it's a longer period of time. 2006.
Okay. 2006.
2006.
Sweet Jesus, Tennessee.
They've won once since 2005. There you go.
It's 2022.
Mount Cody was 09. That was a 12-10 final.
One of the weird things about getting old is that it happens a lot more often. You'll notice this time because you're almost 40. But it happens a lot more often when,
this is true.
When you get there. You'll run into somebody you haven't seen in a while, and the two of you, if you're roughly the same age, will begin to wonder the last time you saw each other. And one of you invariably says, as you get older, I think it's been 20 years.
Yeah.
And then it's odd because you think about it some more and go, it has been 20 years.
All right.
I saw you in 2002.
I've got a number for you that's going to make you laugh. So Tennessee, the most points they've scored against Alabama since.
See, you're doing it now. I picked them this week.
Okay, since 2004,
Mhm.
the most points they scored against Alabama, it's 24. 24 points.
They lit it up that day.
They have broken the 20-point plateau in this losing streak to Alabama since 07. 3 times. 3 times.
It's been a tough go
You're
for
saying
Tennessee.
they might touch into the 30s for the first time.
Yeah.
Since 2003, when they scored 51 on Alabama. They scored 51 that day in 2003. This will be the first time they touch into the 30s since then. Okay.
I love Hendon Hooker. He's a good player.
Yeah.
All right.
There, I said it.
Syracuse minus 3.5 against NC State. I just glimpsing that backup quarterback against us gave me cause to jump on Syracuse here. Maryland minus 11.5 against Indiana. BYU in a pick'em against Arkansas. Tulane minus 12 against USF. I couldn't sneak it past you. I tried to talk quickly, but I couldn't.
Our ass is in the jackpot now.
Couldn't sneak it past you. Florida minus 3 against LSU. I got it earlier this week. I think it was only 2.5. Clemson minus 3.5 against FSU, unfortunately. And then Purdue minus 14 to just wax Nebraska's beat up, sorry offensive line. There's not a lot of athletes on that team. You know, Anthony Grant's on that team.
Really?
Well,
No, I
he's their
did not.
starting running back, and he's good.
Okay.
Behind that sorry offensive line. And Southern Cal plus 3.5 against Utah. I need Utah to get it going. They've let me down all year long. I like Utah, but I took Southern Cal this week because Utah's defense is just not what we're accustomed to, guys. This is not what we're accustomed to. So I circle back to the Clemson pick, and I have had this. I can't get a read that allows me to feel good about the game. Every time I sit around thinking about the game, every time I try to look at it in depthly and say why or why not, I just have a million why nots and one very small why. And I don't see it. I don't see it. But hey, stranger things have happened. Florida State's better than they were last year. So's Clemson. But
the sneaky thing to point to about FSU having a chance in this game is the way that they dominated NC State for the first 30 minutes was more dominant than any stretch of the Clemson's game with that same NC State squad. And that was Clemson having a ball game at home. Florida State went on the road and 17-3 was light. They got off easy in those first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Did NC State. So FSU is capable of doing something that maybe even Clemson wasn't in terms of controlling a game for a short period of time. I'm trying to make the argument to give you the font size on the 1Y goes from 6 to maybe 10, maybe 12.
I'm listening
or 14.
intently. Yeah.
The other part was Florida State defensively had more success against Wake Forest, which I understand Clemson had backups in there, but I'm pointing out that
A lot of backups.
That FSU's defense, the last 2 weeks has been impressive. Point blank, it's been impressive. Wake hadn't seen anything quite like it when they played Clemson, and NC State didn't either. Florida State stopped the run for much of the game.
Much of the game, not the second half, but they did for the most part.
That's
they
not
got
nothing.
But they got worn down, and they are banged up.
That's not their fault. They were on the field for 20 minutes in the second half.
I don't blame them at all.
I'm just saying that I think if you're looking at it objectively, you feel better about FSU's defense now than you did before this sequence of 3 games started. So there's a path, getting some stops.
That is a path. And I know I paint a bleak picture for this game because I think when we go through the segment groups, Clemson has the advantage in almost every one. So that in and of itself typically is a little unsettling when they're better than you here and they're better than you there and they're better than you at the line of scrimmage in particular, both sides. That's problematic. But it doesn't mean you can't win, and it doesn't mean Florida State won't play well, and it doesn't mean Florida State goes out there hapless. There have been games 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. There have been games where you walked out there and went, there ain't no chance in hell that this team's going to win this game today. I mean, we've had games, Tom, where you and I have looked at each other, like turned off this mic after doing a radio show and gone, man, we're going to get blown the hell out. And then the other just nodded and we left. That's
one of those years was Willie's game where he accused guys of quitting. And that game was 3-3 or whatever it was. No score into the second quarter. It was tied. And you're going, what the hell? And then it happened.
And then it happened. And then the ass beating occurred.
That was the roughing the kicker or whatever.
Oh, it was ridiculous. Yeah, but the point is we've had those moments, and that's not this. That's not this. I can see that
just because they have an advantage in most, if not
all,
all segment groups. It's not the same as it was 3 or 4 years ago. Period. Right? It's all the margins are slimmer.
Yeah, much slimmer. So hey, look, man, let Clemson fool around, and turn it over early, and Florida State gets a short field or a scoop and score or something like that, and that place goes bonkers. Yeah, sure, DJ could get rattled. It could happen. You could see it. A lot stranger things have happened. We don't need a miracle. I'm not suggesting that. We don't need a miracle to win the game. If you're asking me point blank, and certainly you are, I mean, this is the nature of the show, right? I give you my opinion. Then I got to tell you, I think Clemson wins. I don't even think DJ has to play great for the Clemson to win. I think he can just be average and they could win.
Look, we're focusing on him and how perhaps the narrative is unfair given what he's put on, tape, so to speak, or game replays.
Mm-hmm.
But stopping Shipley is probably the first order of business here.
Yeah, well, and especially if you are...
We haven't talked about him a ton.
No, I don't. I like Shipley. He's not ATN. He's not that guy.
No, but given that we are at best inconsistent against the run between the tackles, you got to prove that you can stop him in order to get to the DJ conversation.
Every team's going to go right at that center, right at the center of our defensive line. Yeah. They're all going to test it to see.
And that's already in their nature of how they call their read options. It's not a whole bunch of perimeter stuff. They're power. They want to run downhill with both of those guys. So you've got to answer for at least one of them before you can get to the other guy. And I think it starts with Shipley so you can get to the DJ conversation.
Well, if we do that, I'm going to perk up. I'll tell you that right now. If that happens, I'll be on the roof for this game in all likelihood. I will sit. I will stand. I will stand tall at that moment because that is a game changer.
Put on your moth suit.
I know. I'm going to tell you this: if that happens, what it does do is it allows Florida State to get Clemson into second and third and obvious, and that allows Jared Verse to take control of a game. That gives him a chance to have the kind of impact we described last hour on this game, where they can't block him. He gets to DJ a few times. Who knows? That you hit a guy repeatedly in a throwing motion, you might get that turnover we're talking about. You might now. It's a big guy, so you got to bring him down now. He's a big kid.
Yeah, you got to finish that play.
Yeah, you got to finish that play.
We haven't been the best at finishing plays like that. Yeah.
So again, that's a fun game if that happens. If it's 2nd and 10, 3rd and 7, that's a fun game.
That's a great point. I think that if you're going to get a turnover here, it's far more likely that it's because you hit him as he's throwing, because you're dialing up pressures, than it is you're going to confuse him with, a zone coverage that looks like man. It's because you're bringing the safeties and you're well-timing stuff better than we have in the season. Not these late developing the safeties off the screen blitzes, but we're around the line of scrimmage to force the action now.
That's funny. I just read official 3D Trey. Please finish softly. Yeah, he's referencing the fact that any tackle on a quarterback these days, everybody holds their breath because in college and pro football, they have decided to bastardize the game and pretend that, the quarterback is off limits. We need the refs that enter the building on Saturday night to understand it's a man's game, bitch. We got to play. We got to play. Let's go. These are two big boy teams. Guys get hit. It's football.
I don't think they release the crews until you get there, right? You don't know it until you see the sheet in the press box.
They're worried.
That matters.
Well, they're worried they're going to get egged or something. These guys are so bad, and we know them by name these days because they've screwed us so many times.
This feels like a Gary Patterson game. It does. Old Smiley.
Old Smiley, huh? If you're hearing this right now and you or someone you know is active military, a veteran, police officer, firefighter, nurse, or a teacher, it applies to you. My friend, I should say, tried to say Shannon and friend together. My friend Shannon with Legendary Home Loans has a Hometown Hero loan program designed to make a difference to those who do make a difference in your community. That's right. So if it's time to buy a new home for you, you'll waive all lender fees for all Hometown Heroes. 1,600 bones you're saving right there out the gates. If you decide to use their preferred title company for the closing, you'll save another $600. Now we're rolling. Here we go. Good times. Again, if you are active military, a veteran, police officer, firefighter, nurse, or a school teacher, and you're looking to buy a new home, make sure you go see my friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Ask about the Hometown Heroes program. Call 844-FSU-LOAN. That's 844-FSU-LOAN, or visit FSUHomeLoans.com, FSUHomeLoans.com.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love. And you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
This is Andy Cohen. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. Who's protecting you? Give me a call. 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. Helping you is what we do best.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
Physical stress on our bodies can take its toll as the years go by. Whether you're looking to get back into an old sport or just want to spend more time outdoors to explore all life has to offer in our beautiful city, the dedicated team at TOC is here for you every step of the way. You can trust TOC for all your orthopedic needs. And now, scheduling an appointment has never been easier. Just visit teamtoc.com and click schedule online. That's teamtoc.com.
Hey, this is Greg Tish. Here's something you might know about me. I don't drink coffee. I have never had a cup of coffee in my life. Well, that is until now. So why change now? Well, it's because my dear friend at Grassroots Coffee reached out to me after hearing me say that and insisted that I give his product a try. I've been making a huge mistake. The world of coffee is fascinating. I always thought coffee is coffee, you know? No, it's not. I have tried their coffee and it is fantastic. Now, I've got a fascination with learning more about the best coffee in our area. Grassroots Coffee is locally roasted, locally owned, and locally loved. You can find whole bean Grassroots Coffee on the local aisle at Publix, also in Whole Foods, but the best way to get this black gold is to order it online. They literally grind the fresh roasted beans to your preferred level, bag it, write the date on it by hand so you know the exact day your coffee was roasted. It doesn't get any more fresh than that. Order yours now. Just go to grassrootscoffee.com and choose the coffee you want and how you want it. And join me. Let's step up our coffee game together and also support a great local business.
So let's say you're considering buying a new home in the current climate. All heard that demand is high, inventory is low. So how do you get a leg up on the rest of the buyers all making offers on the same house as you? Oh, that's a toughie. But the first place I'd suggest you start is with a call to my friend Shannon at Legendary Home Loans. Shannon will set you up with a complete pre-approval underwriting. This used to be an upgrade, but nowadays it's got to be standard. You want to get your offer on a new home pushed to the front of the line, you need a TBD full underwriting approval from Legendary Home Loans. You'll shorten or even remove your financing contingency, and the sellers will know that your offer is real and ready to go. It's tough out there these days, folks, so why not have the advantage of a proven winning team in your huddle? Get pre-approval underwriting from my friend Shannon with the one and only Legendary Home Loans. Call now, 844-FSU-LOAN, 844-FSU-LOAN, or just visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 2270146.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Listening. Hope you're doing well. Real quick aside. Did you see this, Tom? Just a side note. You mentioned the World Cup earlier. I meant to tell you this. Of course, that's in Qatar, where it ought not be. It should not be held there. We know that. We also know that the way in which those stadiums were built, that stadium in particular, was criminal, quite literally. Anyhow, that's all on a side. Now, you know that. I just wanted to reiterate it. Special zones at that World Cup for drunken football supporters. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
The sale of alcohol in Qatar will move from hotel bars to fan zones and outside stadiums during the World Cup, which runs from November the 20th, as we alluded to December the 18th, so nearly a month. Qatar is, as you well know, predominantly Muslim, where public drinking is restricted severely, and it has decided to control public drunkenness, as one might, by ensuring there's an alternative to arrests. So this is good news for the hooligans and everybody else who goes over to watch these games and get hammered along the way. I wondered how that was going to work. Like, you don't want to end up in that prison. This is not a good situation. I thought this is going to get ugly because they're just going to be arresting everybody. Rules are rules. You're in their country. But instead they went, yeah, we can't arrest everybody. We just can't arrest everybody. We would, but we can't. So we're just going to throw you in the giant drunk tanks that everybody can see. Let you cool it off.
You know,
that sounds like a fun zone.
It sounds like a good pay-per-view channel or
right?
Look at the alternate broadcast from the drunk zones.
Yeah.
Go to fs1.com now.
There are plans in place for people to sober up if they've been drinking excessively. That according to the Chief Executive of the Supreme Committee. How about that group, right? That sounds like it's on the up and up. The Chief Executive of the Supreme Committee.
They meet,
I want no part of that.
It's a very well-lit room that they meet in, right? Or not. Or not.
Oh, how great is that? And what do? I am the Chief Executive of the Supreme Committee. Oh.
So what's your robe size?
It's a place to make sure that everybody stays safe. Sure. Okay. I've never seen a drunk zone where everybody stays safe. That's never good. Rational decisions are not being made within that zone, Tom. Not consistently, anyhow.
The rational decision would be to not go in person to this World Cup. That's the rational decision.
It has been reported that fans who end up in a so-called sobering tent, not the drunk zone as it was initially labeled, will remain there until they are sufficiently clear-headed. By whom? Who's the one who's deciding you're sufficiently clear-headed?
The guys with the bullhorns outside of Doak talking about redemption. That's who.
Yeah.
Do you believe yet? Sorry.
Yeah, that's good.
I thought it was funny.
Well, it's loud is what it is. Every time we go in, I'm like, come on, man. Time and place. Get the hell up out of here. Anyhow, there is that. Now we segue, not so gracefully, from that aside, as I called it. Again, sort of a shortened segment. But I didn't want to forget to do this, and this I'm serious about. There is a young man. His name is Sage Rubin. and he is 16 years old. Apparently, I've been told that he is a big fan of the show, and he is hospitalized, and he does not get to go, cannot go to the Florida State Clemson game this weekend the way he had hoped he was going to. He had originally planned to go to that game. He was really looking forward to it. He fell ill. And anyhow, I don't want to get too detailed, but he's in the hospital. He can't go. And I just wanted to quickly wish him well. Sage, get better, buddy. We're rooting for you. We want you to heal up. There will be more Florida State Clemson games in the future, and you most assuredly will be able to attend those. But focus on yourself right now and feel better, buddy. And thanks so much for listening to the show. I appreciate it. Big fan of yours right now, just the way you described being a big fan of me in your email. So we appreciate you, and best of luck, buddy, and get better. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
First responders were on the scene of a crash between a Tallahassee Fire Department fire truck and a dump truck along Bluntstown Highway. Florida Highway Patrol says the call came in at 2:30 Wednesday afternoon for the crash at Bluntstown Highway in Barno Road. FHB says a fire truck rolled over and there were injuries, but right now there are no details on how many people are hurt or the extent of those injuries. Bluntstown Highway was closed in both directions. There are no more details available at this time. The Leon County Sheriff's Office was investigating a shooting that happened in the 4000 block of Ballard Road Tuesday evening. A house and 2 cars were damaged by gunshots. There were no injuries and no arrests have been made. LCSO is asking if you have any information, call the Violent Crimes Unit at 850-606-3300 or to remain anonymous, call Crime Stoppers at 850-574-TIPS. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Now open at their new location on John Knox Road. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Partly cloudy skies this afternoon with highs around 84. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows level off around 59 tonight. Clear skies. Sunny skies again tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 81. Mid-80s Saturday and Sunday. Once again, 84 this afternoon. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 86.
Leaky faucet, busted pipes, clogged toilet? M&L Plumbing is here for you. For all commercial, construction, and residential plumbing issues, call M&L Plumbing at 575-9393 or visit online at mnlplumbing.com.
Your next chance to win $1,000 is coming up at 3 p.m. Don't miss your chance to shake the 93.3 money tree and see what falls out. Planted by the law offices of Basic Brooks. Come back stronger with Basic Brooks.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, Greg?
Do you know all the different ways that you can listen to Real Talk 93.3?
There are several.
So we've got realtalk93.com. You can go back and listen to all of our shows in the podcast section.
That's right. You can also listen on our app as well.
Search Real Talk 93.3 and look for the red microphone and download our app. Never go anywhere without us.
And, of course, you can always listen right on the radio.
Well, they are listening.
Are they?
If they're hearing this commercial, then they're listening.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Music, and we have conversations about music a lot. We have in the past, and then when you played that, I thought about the conversation we had about that band and that song. But anyhow, more importantly, like, it's soon, buddy.
It is. You're gonna regret if you never make it over there and watch these VHS tapes with them. It's going to be your Roddy Piper thing.
It'll be the second Roddy Piper thing.
So prevent that.
For people who don't know what Tom's referencing, Coach Hamilton asked me to come over to his house. He collects footage, old concerts, recorded concerts. Like he found out I was a huge Sam Cooke fan. I am a Sam Cooke fan. I have box set and all this other stuff. Love Sam Cooke. And he found that out, and he's like, I've got an old video of him in Harlem playing live from 19 whatever year it was. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah, I've got a whole little movie room, and I'll put it on sometimes and have a glass of wine and watch this concert. You should come over and we'll watch the show together. I've got a lot of concerts that I've bought over the years. And it was the coolest offer in the world, but I've never done it. I've never gone over there to do it.
And we're on year 8 or 9.
And Tom keeps saying to me, hey, man, you need to go do that because it would be pretty cool. Admittedly, it would. I don't know if I didn't want to impose. I wasn't sure that he was serious. He sounded serious.
He has reiterated on multiple interviews in subsequent years to start the season. Are you ever going to do this? So I think he means it.
I saw him at basketball camp this summer. My son was in his camp, the Leonard Hamilton basketball camp, and it was that is an awesome camp. I'm not saying that because I don't get any kickbacks or anything from this, but it's an awesome camp. And it was weird. Ray Allen was there, which was really cool. And the cool moment for me, I was talking to Coach Hamilton, and then the camp ended for the day, and Bryce and I are walking out of the camp, and like, that's Ray Allen. And we're just, and see his face. He's a basketball junkie. He's like, freaking Ray Allen. I'm like, yeah, don't bother him with the way all these other people are. Let's just keep walking. Let's just do that. But it was kind of cool. See Ray Allen.
Don't bother people like that unless you can do something that would make them smile. Like, for example, Drew Carey back in the 90s, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
My cousin sees him, says, hey, can we take a picture? He says, yeah. So it's him and his girlfriend, and he hands the camera to Drew Carey. Like, if you're going to do something, something like that rather than say, remember.
Did Drew laugh?
Yeah. Oh, he thought it was hilarious, and he took the photo. So he has a photo of him that Drew Carey took. Yeah, that's a great story.
Yeah.
But don't do the thing that Chris Farley did on the SNL bit. Remember that time?
Remember that time where you did that? Yeah.
That's awesome.
Remember when you hit that 3?
That was awesome.
Yeah. I kind of did that thing, the Chris Farley thing with Glenn Hansard from the Frames. I met and had a beer with Glenn Hansard, and I'm talking to him like that in retrospect. I got the picture. My wife took the picture. I'm like, Glenn looks a little uncomfortable. Glenn has this look like, all right, okay, man. Yeah, sure. I'll take that picture.
There you go.
That's good radio.
That's my Warwick Dunn story. I asked him why he was at the UF-FSU game in 2010, the Urban Meyer and they quit on the sidelines game.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, aren't you the guy from Cold Pizza? What are you doing here?
How great is that?
You care about Florida State? And he was stunned.
He didn't know what to do.
No.
He thought you were serious. This is the partnership I have with ISF. This is time to solve for the future. Love my folks at ISF. Your vision. You want to do amazing things. You have big visions and goals for the future and work hard at your agency to move forward while navigating very unique challenges which are inherent to government operations. And ISF is an IT and strategy firm helping people out in this regard for over 40 years. They've served state government business clients across the nation, not just in the state of Florida. They're here in Tallahassee, but they are all over the country, which is great. And they can partner with you, and they're very collaborative. And we went to that kind of menu on the show as a better way to represent what ISF does with their clients. So I'm interacting with you guys in the chat, and I ask you guys questions about this. When we're in tough times, right? We're in the middle of a 2-game losing streak, trying to end a 3-game, trying to avoid a 3-game losing streak. And we always talk about remaining calm, consistent, accountable, listening, and managing is the way they look at calm. And
their version of climb.
Yes, that's correct. Calm, consistent, accountable, listening, and managing. So which would it be for this team? Where this team or coaches have to be more consistent? Is it in the realm of accountability? Is it that they have to listen better or better manage the game?
You're asking me.
I'm just asking everybody out loud here. You can answer in the chat. You know, I would think that the vast majority of the people listening who do answer in the chat or think about this for a second would tell you that it would be better managing the game. I think that's what they would say.
Yeah. I think they'd be right.
Yeah, I think they would be right too. You could say calm applies to our fans too. They too
need Aaron Rodgers
to be calm. Yeah, I think again, I think it is probably better manage the game. They listen to the players and they are accountable. They don't.
Yeah. No, this
coach
group doesn't
isn't
have
ducking anything.
This group doesn't have those kinds of issues, you know, and you might have some of those as you get better players here. Maybe, you know, that seems to come with the territory of being unbelievably gifted as you've got more headaches to manage as a coach. But you look at play calling inside the 10-yard line. We take your favorite word, circuitous routes.
No, we do.
Towards the end zone. I'm not saying that we're going to win every offensive line battle from the 3 and we just need to run the ball straight ahead. But, you know, you can do that and try that, though. Early downs.
You're allowed, yeah.
You don't need to give Micah Pittman a reverse. You don't need to try a
jet
little
sweep action
sneaky,
from the
sneaky
2.
Wyatt Rector comes up and here it's a sneak, you know.
We did it against LSU.
Yeah. We ran a fullback dive to DJ Lundy. You can do that. You know, we are pretty good, and we talked about this yesterday too, managing the game. The Wildcat is not that big of a gimmick if you're going to run power off of it.
Correct.
Or counter, whatever you want. If you're going to run your base and you're saying, I don't want to get Travis hit, but I really like the way that, in this case, Trey Benson, because Trayshawn Ward's dinged up, I like the way he runs it. I like the way that Lawrence Toafili runs it. Whoever.
Oh, I don't think I want Toafili.
Probably Trey Benson.
Yeah.
That was the one thing where, you know, when DJ Williams transferred, he had actually found a home in that particular set, and they repped it to, like crazy in spring. And I thought, oh, he's got to roll. That's going to be it. But you don't have to run a triple pitch reverse little option pass on 2nd and goal from the 3.
You don't. There's no law that says you have to, Tom. I say let's get to – I say this about most offenses, though. To be fair, it's not just us. You look around the country, and guys are in the shotgun on 3rd and inch. I mean, these things happen all the time, and I'm like, okay. Right. And by the way, I hear smart football people say this, and it's one of the things I push back on always. I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true. When you run your offense primarily from the shotgun, okay, let's just say, you know, you got a pistol, sidecar, all that stuff, let's say. All right, you'll hear people say, well, they never rep under center, and it's not as easy as it looks. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I disagree. It is easy to take a snap. It's not a hard thing to do in football. It's not. I don't think you have to rep it very often at all. You can just go do it. It's not rocket science.
Well, and we have enough plays that are under center.
It's also not hard, period. If you just think about it, it's not hard.
The dive is on an under center play. The toss pitch play that everybody was pissed off at, and you know, it's an interesting call, but that's also under center, and it worked for us on that short yardage earlier by the 50-yard line. Like, there are elements where Jordan goes under the center. It's not a huge part of our offense, but they rep that. So I agree with you on its face as a general talking point. It's got its limitations, but in our particular situation in Florida State, it's part of the offense. They do it. So you can handle that.
It's just, yeah, you can. You're right, because it's nice to be able to cite times that you have.
Yeah,
sure, to bolster the argument.
And they work on that in practice.
But I think, generally speaking, I just completely disagree. Anyhow, I mean, I hear people well, you know, if you haven't repped it, it can be. No, it's not hard. It's not hard. I can grab anybody off the street and say, "Come in here. I'm going to show you how to take a snap. We'll do it about 5 minutes. You'll be all right. You'll be good to go. We're done.
You need to work on is your footwork. That's it.
Yes,
as you're getting out.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
I don't know why people do that. I all the time. Like, well, that's not what they do. They don't do that. They can't do. Yes, they can. Stop that. Yes, they can. We have Miami game last year.
ISF is like, we have cloud services. Don't yell at the cloud services.
It does. It pisses me off. I sent that GIF, by the way, the old man from The Simpsons yelling at the clouds.
Yeah, Abe, yeah.
Yeah, I sent that to a mutual friend of ours that's older that we used to see a lot back in the day. He was bitching about something, and I just sent him that, and it really made him angry.
Was it about sports?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was complaining to me about something over and over again. I just kept sending that GIF to him. Infuriated him. Made him even angrier, so I kept sending it. Thanks to our friends at ISF Collaborative. They are very. Look them up today, isf.com, if you're so inclined. Again, they're an IT and strategy firm. They've been excellent for 40-plus years, so you know they're good. You can't stay in business being sorry for 40 years. That ain't going to work.
I can now guarantee Florida State's going to win the ball game on Saturday. Do you know why?
No.
The adult bots have found the chat.
Uh-oh.
They're back. They're back.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah, some butts. Advertising some butts. Here we go.
Here comes a dub. Here comes a dub.
It's Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV. Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Over 50 years ago, when Paul Nicholson founded Paul's Termite and Pest Control, he had one goal in mind: provide the best service possible to his neighbors so they felt like family. Your problem was his problem, so today it's our problem. Paul's service area is our home. It's where our kids go to school, where we shop, and where we get involved with community organizations. So if some out-of-town company knocks on your door and begins pressuring you to sign an agreement for termite or pest control, you can bet on a few things. Number one, you'll never see that person again. Number two, your technician is likely to change often. And number three, your money will not stay in North Florida. These companies are sending your money to home offices in Atlanta, Orlando, Salt Lake City, or even Great Britain. Paul's Termite and Pest Control knows local means something to you. The health of your Tallahassee home, family, and pets is our number one priority. For the elimination of termites and pests and a greener lawn too, call your local company with local solutions. Paul's Termite and Pest Control.
Every great construction project, whether it's a new addition or renovation, starts with a plan. At T-Spark, we are excited when our clients contact us to assist with that plan. Through our team of architects, draftsmen, engineers, we can help you with your project's planning and design, potentially saving costs in the long run. Whether you have a residential or commercial project, we look forward to working with you. Call us today or visit us at tsparkconstruction.com. License number CGC 1525336.
There ain't no school, he's keeping you comfortable.
This is Kyle, Service Manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry bucks to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186. There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
In a few minutes here, Tom. That's what I think I'm going to do.
Ooh, feeling cleansy?
I'm feeling weedy.
What? That was not the answer I expected.
Well, you led me to it.
You want to be a hedgehog today?
Florida's largest CBD store for people and pets. That's right. Tallulah CBD juice bar. It's not all. Hey, look, I've brought this up before, guys. Again, no medical card needed here. You go on into the Tallulah, you're good to go. Plenty of non-psychotropic things to do.
It can get high for you.
Yeah. Good. They do have the Delta 8. They do have the Delta 10 and the 9.
It can get high for you.
Yeah. They got the hemp and the vapes and the flour and the goodness. They got it all, buddy. Gummies too. They got everything. It's great. Good times. The juice is tasty though. That's what I'm talking about right here. Good juice.
I just like to see, this is where the chat is fun, the instant reaction where people are saying, wait a minute, has Jeff converted from the pint glass to the edible? What's going on here? I mean, I followed him to the bar, but I don't know that I can follow him to the CBD bar.
You can.
The THC bar.
There is plenty there that has nothing to do with the getting down.
It can get high for you.
I just like the other guy laughing.
That's Rex Ryan.
Yeah, he's like, oh, yes.
That was the game where Jimbo in the postgame said, oh, yeah.
He's thinking about
we shanghaied him.
He did say that.
He said that.
He said that. You're like, oh.
That is direct quote, folks.
Yeah,
You're like, Jimbo.
Yeah.
They had no idea.
Yeah. And also Rex Ryan laughing. He's just sitting over there thinking about Beth Moen's feet. You're like, oh, my God.
It can get high for you.
Yeah. He's like, he's staring at her feet. Yeah. All right, that means it's time for probables.
I think it does, mercifully.
It does mean it's time for probables. And we got 2 games for today. So one of them starts at 3:30. Just in time for me to swing on by Tallulah, get whatever I need, take it to the hizzy, and watch Seattle and Houston.
I think I'm going to hide on the 2-cam shot for a while here.
Luis Castillo and Fromber Valdez.
How you say?
What I'm about to
say. Probables?
Yeah, nobody heard that. Seattle throw Luis Castillo. Nobody knew. The Astros, Fromber Valdez. Guardians, Yankees, Shane Bieber, Nestor Cortez.
Nestor?
I knew that was coming. Has that been postponed? Rain? I'm seeing rain.
Yeah, it has. Yeah. So tomorrow, 1 p.m.
No! I wanted night baseball. No! This Bears-Commanders game is criminal. Nobody wants to watch that.
No. You could dip your toes in some hockey waters tonight.
This is a night for Tallulah. I mean, this is, you got, I can't watch Washington and Chicago. That's criminal.
Nope. The polygons, that's who they are. Look at their logo. It is a collection of polygons assorted like a W. You remember those little things they give you the sheet of paper and they say, all right, make this box of polygons fit the shape. That's what the Washington logo looks like.
Hey, by the way, Operation Basketball, as it used to be known, now it's called ACC Tip-Off, appears to have been scaled. Oh, that's a look at those that shall resign on the bump. Sorry.
That was just because.
Yeah, I just felt like wooing it up a little bit. Operation Basketball, now known as ACC Tip-Off, and scaled back considerably. Football has dominated Tobacco Road. Local media markets, probably the only ones that were there up there. It was held at the Westin Hotel there in Charlotte, with the women's event occurring Tuesday, October the 11th, and the men's event occurring the next day. The ACC Network had extensive coverage both days, Tom. And for FSU, they were represented by Coach Hamilton, Matthew Cleveland, and Caleb Mills. You think Caleb's going to be a man this year?
They have developed kids into people that we think are tough as nails, and we're very proud to call Noles. I'm hoping that's what happens this year for Caleb Mills. I'm willing to wipe the slate clean.
We have to. You have to, because he has to step up and be good for us. It just does.
Reserve the right at the under 12 of the first game to say, forget it. Never mind.
Listen, I won't dance around it. I talked about this last year. At times I sugarcoated it, I think, in the hopes that he would come around. But my problem with Caleb Mills is that he wasn't tough and he would not go into the paint to save his life. So I need him to be tougher, period.
On a team that desperately needed that element to it. And somebody had to do it. Somebody has to do it this year again now that you're missing one of your post-presence guys, maybe the key player down low.
Well, I think Matthew Cleveland obviously has got a ton of room to step forward here. He is an athletic freak. He's got that alpha mentality, for lack of a better term. His body type is right, and all he has to do is learn how to shoot. And I am told that you could not have asked anything more from his offseason. He has spent hours upon hours shooting the basketball. Well, I mean, look, that's a guy that's an NBA prospect, a first-round prospect. You got to be able to shoot. Matthew remembers our long conversation about how it's troubling when you're profiling a player to draft and they come back with the descriptor, he can't shoot. So why did we draft Ben Simmons? He can't shoot. Wait a minute.
That's a problem.
So wait, you're telling me all these things that are great about his game, but then at the end there, Bobby, you tried to sneak it. You just slid it over to me and said the one downside is he can't shoot. Yeah, man, we need to be able to shoot.
I saw a headline the other day about, he's with Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And I think it was Steve Nash, still a head coach, whoever is, said that he won't be the fully realized version of himself to start the season. So already in the preseason, your head coach is coming
before it
even plays. Like, now hang on a minute. He's gotten so much better. I can't wait for you to see him. And then they get close to tip off of the season, and he says, now, just give him some time. I told you I'm so excited, and I am. But when the season starts,
he can't shoot a lick.
He's not all the way there yet. So temper those expectations, Brooklyn Net fans. I know that there are millions of you. Be careful.
I'm telling you, man, made my morning. Driving Bryce to school this morning. We're listening to a preview of the West. As requested.
I'm sure it was.
He was like, hey, Dad, put on that preview of the West. He's locked in.
Okay.
He's giving me his thoughts on how far Phoenix has fallen.
Well, does he want to give you sheets when it gets to playoff push time, just breaking down all the teams? I'll bet he could.
He probably could. He's going to watch it this year more than he ever has because he kind of came of age last year, figured it out, played organized basketball, was on his school team and, all that. And so now he's locked in all the time. And so it's like, okay, well, this will be interesting to see what he does. I told him, I got you a TV. It's in the back. You take it on.
Usually, a parent of a teenager trying to get their teenager out of the room and say, go outside, go do something, hang out with the family. You're saying take your ass to the back.
Take your ass to
those
the back.
82 inches are.
Yeah, that's for me.
Yeah.
It is a familiar refrain. Take your ass to the back. Both boys have heard that several times.
Really?
Yes.
Get out my face.
Clark's trying to watch nonsense on YouTube. Bryce is only watching basketball. I'm like, guys, you both have a television. You're spoiled rotten. Take your ass to the back. That's how this works.
You're going to have to put like a shift sign. Do you still have the little divider between the rooms? I don't know I forget if it was windows.
No,
or
it's
something.
the doors that open.
The doors.
Up. Yeah.
So on the door, you could just put a shift, and then there's an alarm that goes off when it's take your ass to the back time. I'm sorry, guys. I know that looks like a really entertaining game at 2K. You're in the fourth quarter. It's 1 point. Got to go.
Take your ass
that
to
was
the
the
back.
alarm.
That's it right there.
You knew that when you started the game.
Yeah. Zyler, I see that you noted in the chat that stone crab season opens Saturday, and I like to hear that. Not because I'm going out there catching stone crabs, but somebody is, and I'll eat them.
Oh, you're a big stone crab guy?
Oh, love them. Yeah. Love crab in general. Like if you say, like, Alaskan king crab, love them. People talk about it's a lot of work for a little food. No, not if you're good at it. I've gotten good at it. And I haven't done it in a long time. I will.
Oh, man. Director Matthew.
Oh. I will. You know what's going to happen? It's going to happen. I'm going to
For the radio audience and the podcast audience, Director Matthew wiped across the message that said more like stoner crab. Am I right? That was not directed to me.
My friends at Tallulah would tell you that you got it all wrong. Got it all wrong. Although that is, you can get that right if you want.
Maybe that's what they call a variety. You know how we name beers?
Mm.
And there you go. Here's your stone crab gummies.
Yeah, and I meant to tell you, I've got the bottle of Dos Artes that I need to give you some from.
And it's supposed to be also for Ira, Corey.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah. No, I have not partaken in this year's Dos Artes
that we got. San Diego, Chris.
Yeah, it was. Chris gave us that. I have it at the house. It's sitting there looking beautiful. Can't wait. Good work out of you. Good work, Director Matthew, and all of you for watching, listening, all that good stuff. Appreciate it. Peace. Talk to you tomorrow.